So the PS5 is pretty much 2 years old at this point, and I finally got mine finally, and Sony is making a PS5 variant, which is a lot smaller. So, for the past week, there had been articles about Sony making another PS5 model, which is a variant, not the PlayStation 6, but a model of the PS5. It's going to be a lot smaller, which one of my criticisms of the PS5 is that it is a huge ass system. Like, it's like a gaming PC, which it makes sense that a gaming PC is big, but because gaming PCs, let's keep it real, have better graphical capabilities and more parts than consoles do. And so it makes sense for gaming PCs to be really heavy and really big. But the PS5 is huge. Even the disc edition and the digital edition. I'm looking at an X-Fire article on my, from not the X-Files, but X-Fire, which I'm not sure if it's the most reliable source, but there are other more reliable sources that are known to be reliable that are talking about this. So, Tom Henderson reveals that Sony is working on a new PlayStation 5 console with a major new feature. Reliable leaker Tom Henderson has reported Sony has plans to launch a new PlayStation 5 console model with a surprising new feature in September 2024. I'm not gonna read the whole article out loud, but there are some sources that say somewhere in 2023, somewhere in 2024, but one of the major things, the new console will come with a detachable disc drive that will be connected to the console via USB-C port. And I was thinking, that's a good idea, because if you're gonna save a few bucks on the PS5 digital edition, which is cheaper, and which I chose the disc edition because I can play all my PS4 games, but let's say you're saving up money and there's a disc drive out there. People just buy the all digital, and so they're kind of having good options to choose between the digital and physical. But you're able to do that in a more affordable way, which it's good that there's a detachable disc drive, which, when was the last time a game console had an add-on? The Sega Genesis had the Sega 32X and the Sega CD, and Nintendo tried to add a CD-based add-on for the Super Nintendo. Like, Nintendo partnered up with Philips, but that led to the CDI, and Nintendo partnered with Sony, and Sony decided, you know what, let's make the PlayStation, let's make our own console. That led to the PlayStation, and the brand's going strong today, and Nintendo added a Game Boy adapter for the GameCube, and the Xbox 360 over 15 years ago had an add-on which can play HD DVD, which is a competitor through Blu-ray, but Blu-ray won, so had a detachable disc drive on the 360 that plays HD DVD. That was the last add-on that was ever on a console. So I brought up that the new PS5 model is going to be a lot smaller. One of these changes occurred recently when we reported that the new PS5 model has undergone an internal design that has left it lighter and slimmer than earlier models. And that's a good thing, because I have a room down the basement at my mom's house, my mom's basement, where the TV is, and I can't fit the PS5 down there because my PS5, which is in my dorm, and because it's a huge ass beast, and having a console that's more slimmer, I do think that having a smaller PS5 is a good idea. Like, I prefer consoles being small and not being a big ass beast like the PlayStation 5. I don't hate the PS5. I love the system. It's a good system to play PS4 games. It has great backwards compatibility. I like it that you can play all your old PS4 games. You can play PS4 accessories on there. I like it. Part of this article, Sony is about digital. The all-digital future of gaming. Sony is intensifying efforts to ensure more people buy digital games. And one thing that people need to understand about all digital is that okay, let's pick a game here. I'm just gonna pick a random game out. Super Mario Odyssey. Okay, I'm just gonna pick out a random game out. Okay, when you own a physical copy, it is your game. Okay, you don't have to worry about it getting removed off a shop. And when you own a physical copy, as long as it works, you can play it anytime you please. And the reason why is because physical copies are easier to emulate on the computers, because game preservationists and like physical games are easier to pirate, and so that's why. And if everything's all digital, that's not good for gaming preservation. That, like, if you're one of those people that says, physical copies of games are so obsolete, that's like saying libraries are obsolete. Like, I know I'm someone who plays video games, but libraries are still important. Like, it's pretty ignorant to say libraries are so obsolete, they're so 19th century, just like steam locomotives and VCRs and stuff. Is that there are people that don't have internet looking for jobs, and there are people that want to get a book for free and try it out. Yeah. Nevertheless, the fact that there is a disk drive demonstrates the company's desire to avoid alienating users who will rather have a physical version of their games instead of a digital one. Which I really hope that Sony's still considering those people. It's important to note that this news is still only a rumor, which it's not true. Sony could announce on Twitter any second. If Sony announced that they were making a PS5 model, then it's pretty obvious they're going to work on it. So that's all the article there is. Again, I already love the PS5. I already got a new I already got the old disc model already. Even though I do have issues with it. One, it's really big, and it's good that game consoles have new variants that helps improve some of the minor problems. Like, there's only one USB port on the front of the PS5, and I think 2 or 3 are on the back. So if you want to hook up a controller, you have to go to the very back, and it's not as convenient. But those are only minor details, and one thing is that the PS5 is only 800 gigabytes, which that's kind of pathetic. It's not as pathetic as like 4 gigabytes, but in 2020, 800 gigabytes is not enough compared with the PS4, newer PS4 1 terabyte, which I'm still glad Sony's considering. If it's true that I'm glad they're considering game preservationists and those kinds of people. Because what if you have a Blu-ray collection? What if you want to collect PS4 games? Or you have a collection of PS4 games, or you want to buy PS5 games eventually on a physical disc. Okay? And you want to save money, which if Sony's making a disc drive for the PlayStation 5, a detachable disc drive, then I'm hoping that Microsoft with the Xbox Series S does the same. Because the Xbox Series S is the only next-gen console you can get. Well, it's getting a little easier with the PS5. I was lucky to find mine, but it's still hard to get a PlayStation 5 or a Series X. Which I'm hope if the rumors are true, hopefully Microsoft will do the same with the Xbox Series S. So that's my thoughts on the PS5, and hopefully it'll do other improvements like increased amount of gigabytes. It might get rid of the PS4 backwards compatibility like the Wii does, which I really hope it doesn't, because the PS4 is still a popular system, and someone's I had a notification on my phone. But it is just a rumor, and I'm just explaining my opinion on if the rumor that the PS5 is getting a new variant somewhere, it could be in 2023 or 2024. If that rumor is true, it has to be one of those two dates. But anyway, this is the Film Buff Gamer Guy signing off. Ugh. Have a good one. Goodbye.